Breakfast with KXVU.
Trickstar Radio.
Just gone 11 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. We're live inside the building. This is the Breakfast Show with myself, KXVU. Danny Jaqq joins us this morning. How are you doing? You waking up?
I'm awake now.
I've got to say, we had we went and got a Costa a few minutes ago, obviously, because you've been here since quite early. Yep. As soon as the panini came out, the liveliness of the room just like shot up.
I was Hank Marvin. Starving, man.
So obviously today there's lots of stuff to kind of talk about today. Now I want to kind of keep we're going to talk a bit about battle rap because obviously that's how we met. That's like where our sort of a lot of our foundation was built there. We have teamed up before. Yep. We've kind of coached each other a little bit through the process as well. So what I want to talk about here is just give me a kind of like brief overview of like what your involvement with battle rap has been over the last sort of like 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. So the last 6 years, I mean, as you said, we've both been active battlers for the most part.
I'll take active out of my own name. I'll say active involvement. There we go.
Bruv, you're on that side of the desk now. You know what I'm saying? But like we both tried out. You tried out on the day of my second battle. Yeah. Which is my infamous the choke. Yeah. Where I got banned for a year, and then I made a joke out of that. And then after that, I've been a battler for a long time. And I've had a great run. I mean, like nowadays, I'm not too fussy about like climbing up the tiers and the unwritten hierarchy. But like now, my involvement now is more on the side of like the event business side and like making events and giving because I know the fan base and the demographic inside out. Yeah. I have battle rap written on both sides of my hands. You know what I mean?
Intentionally and unintentionally.
Yeah. Pick up error, innit? But I know what people want. So I found that I was good at making events more than I'm a good battler and I'm a good performer. I know how to entertain people, but I also know how to. I feel like I'm better at making events to entertain people rather than being,
So it's almost like knowing what, just leaving people to do what they do best and just making sure they have the best conditions to do that.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
And it's quite an interesting journey, obviously, because you find, it's very rare you find promoters I don't want to say promoters, people who are involved in the event side of things within battle rap that haven't been heavily involved beforehand.
Yeah.
It's quite like an obvious progression. You almost go like, you'll kind of get involved, you'll do a few, you'll then sort of move up the tiers a little bit, and then suddenly you'll go, actually, I kind of want to do something with this of my own, like sort of scenario.
You move up the tiers a bit, and then you realise, hold on, I'm not actually that good. Yeah, I might as well do events instead.
Yeah. do you know what I liken it to? I liken it to producers and DJs making record labels.
Yeah.
I think there's quite like a similar sort of pattern to how that works. So where would you say you kind of are now? Because obviously you've put on a few events over the last few years, quite successful events as well. You've kind of kept a hand in. You've got a couple of clashes confirmed, which are going to be on the way, I believe. Yeah. So like, where are you at the minute?
I've taken a whole year out. My last battle as an actual battler was against O'Shea, big up O'Shea. It was a UK battle rap legend, and that was I think October 2018. I think it was
18.
Yeah. Next in line 3. Anyway.
I remember because I was there, and I was DJing that day. I remember because it was the night after Halloween. Yeah. And I went to a Halloween party at Patton's the night before, and I was not in a good way.
Neither of us in a good way. I remember neither of us wanted to be there. Man. But
you can't say that battling O'Shea.
Honestly, that's the thing. Like I battled O'Shea, and like I spent since the day I tried out to the day I battled him, I've always wanted to battle him. But the day I battled him, I couldn't care. Yeah. Because it's been too long, and I was just tired, and it was just long. But so that's the last time I battled. I'll come back now. I've got like a whole new hunger about it. I think just seeing this current scene as it is now, and because how difficult it was for both of us to matter. Yeah. And we had to really try hard, and the scene's not like that anymore. No. It's not. So nowadays, if we both battle now, we'd be considered one of the best. Whereas back then, we were considered like in the middle ground. Yeah, like
the definition of like lower mid.
Yeah.
Sort of scenario.
Nowadays,
I'd say roster.
Yeah.
Like roster filling sort of scenarios. So, but I think like what's the thing you've taken away from sort of battling specifically the most? Like what would you say you've taken away as an artist?
I mean, it's taught me how to be a performer, and in the sense where like Danny Jaqq was just a name. It didn't become an entire like entity and character and everything until I got into battle rap. Like the whole savior thing and all that stuff. Like I don't carry that into my music, but when I'm on stage performing, whether I'm battling or hosting with you or doing like a live show, I have this sort of like when I'm like Dean Holder, Danny Jaqq, I become Danny Jaqq in the sense where I'm like I've got that sort of like, well, you know, I can't even put it into words.
There's like a sort of almost like a superpower that takes over.
Sort of je ne sais quoi. Yeah. I don't even know what that means.
All right, so here's a question for you. One that I know a lot of people will enjoy the answer to.
Yep.
I don't even know what the answer's going to be, but I know they're going to enjoy it. What would you say the single funniest story you've got from battling is that is radio friendly?
Wow. Boy, how long's this show?
Quarter of the way through.
Yeah, radio friendly and funny.
I mean, there's going to be a lot, you know. I mean, like there's going to be. We always hear about weird scenarios where people end up at like train stations randomly, or like.
Yeah, I mean, I think like off the top of my head. All right, so I'm not going to say no names, but you know what? I've got the story. You know, so we're in Don't Flop 5th birthday back in 2013.
Yeah.
We were both newcomers at the time. And it was me, Wilsey, big up Wilsey, Soljitsu and Craig. We were walking back from some club.
Just so people are aware, who is Craig in regards to...
Craig, Craig is my business partner. We co-own Jaqq, which is my business, the company that we own. And we ran Code Red Culture, and now we're moving into other things, which I will talk about later. But that's Craig, and Soljitsu is a Don't Flop battler. So it was us three, Wilsey, Soljitsu, Craig. We were walking back, and it was like 4 a.m. And imagine we walked over this bridge, and we got round, like, I don't know Lee's too tough, but we walked down this motorway bit, and then we went down some side road, and we saw some girl. she was stood in the corner of this, like, there's like a wall, and she stood in the corner. And Wilsey, so Craig is 6'4". He's been 6'4" since he was born. And so Wilsey went over, he's like, oh, you're right, and tried to move her hair. And he moved her hair, yeah. Listen, I swear down, she had no face, bro. It was like some omen thing. It was crazy. Like, obviously she had a face.
Whoa.
Listen, go on.
No, what do you mean by no face?
Yo, listen, he moved her hair, and I swear down, her forehead was her whole face, bro. It was a demon. It was mad. And it was mad. And yo, listen, yeah, Craig is, so Wilsey is 6 foot. Soljitsu 6'1". Craig is 6'4", tall and wide. He's like a box. And he jumped and screamed like a woman. Jumped behind Soljitsu, and he pushed like a human shield. I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared. It was like omen. Like, and then she told us to like go away, in search of a nicer term, and but there was no mouth to say it. It was a noise coming out of her.
This is a very weird scenario,
bro. I saw a demon in Leeds.
A demon in Leeds. I've never heard this story.
Yo, bro. Like, Craig, anyone, if you're listening, confirm this on Twitter or whatever. Yeah, but yo, she had no face. We saw a demon. And only in Leeds, isn't it? Because up north is mad.
Yeah, that's a madness, man. I mean, I was expecting a sort of story of everyone ending up in like a hotel room, or like everyone ending up somewhere seems to be the scenario that you get from these sort of battle.
If we talk about hotel rooms, it's not radio friendly.
Yeah, it's not radio friendly. It's a lot of madness. And you don't really think it's going to be as rock and roll as it is when you sort of first start off. You know?
Really, it's just a bunch of people on JSA, really. Isn't it?
Your words, not mine. 20 minutes past 8 here on Trickstar Radio. We're going to jump into a tune next called My Eyes. This one comes from yourself. Give me a little bit of a breakdown of this one. So
this song is about, I grew up in a town in the Midlands called Warwickshire, Leamington Spa. Big up everyone up there. I was one of the only black kids in my school. And this song is about my experience seeing another black girl in my school get beaten up, and just my experience as being one of the only black children in my town and stuff like that. So that's what the song's about. Eyes.
Would you say, like, obviously battle rappers as a kind of term? We're gonna come to the end of battle rap now, but I feel as a sort of place it's a place where lyricism is very much the forefront of what's going on. But do you feel sometimes it's a little bit difficult to kind of balance the ignorance with the enjoyment sort of side of things?
How do you mean? Like,
as in, cause it's quite like an openly ignorant sort of scenario. You know what I mean? It's almost, ignorance is almost like celebrated. In that sort of scenario. Like, how do you find sort of balancing? And then when you come to make tunes like this, like, how do you find it?
I mean, I don't. That's, you know what? It's interesting. That's a good question, because when you're a battle rapper, your intention is to be not disrespectful. I mean, obviously there's some battlers out there that are disrespectful to a certain amount, but like, it's pointless to diss people. But then when you write music, like the music is you as a human, whereas when you're battling, you're not even talking about yourself.
No.
So I don't think you can even balance it. I think you just have to be like, yo, I'm a battler, or obviously I do both.
Yeah.
But at one point you need to say like, yo, because the Danny Jaqq you hear in my music and the Danny Jaqq you see in that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're two like very separate entities.
Yeah, I can't even balance it. I just keep it very separate. That's I mean,
it's just quite an interesting sort of scenario to be in. You know what I mean? When you're going through and doing like sort of like a lot. This is the thing. A lot of battle rappers will make conscious music.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then it's almost like you have to have two complete different ends of the spectrum. Otherwise, there's no way of finding like a middle ground. Realistically, it's difficult to be involved and find a successful middle ground. I'd say. So coming up next, we're going to jump into this one from Danny Jaqq. This one is My Eyes. Don't go anywhere. We're live on Trickstar Radio, 22 minutes past 8.
Waking up Brighton.
Breakfast with KXVU.